Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered. Three-handle family Gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, Armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, fellow B Plus players, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I am your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Thursday. You know what that means. It's bonus episode day. It's also the View from the WWE Universe day, but you know we're getting crowded today because this is going to be the third podcast released today. It's insane. And this is part 2 of a 3-part preview for everything happening this weekend. And when I say everything happening, these are sort of the big boys, the majors. And we're talking Adelaide now. So joining me to talk about my own hometown, Ayden. How are you, Ayden?
Dying from the heat. How are you doing?
That just as I said on the Melbourne City Wrestling one, I have to turn everything off when I do these recordings. And I'm in a little room with everything closed. And it is very hot.
I myself am in a sunroom and I've had to turn my aircon off because we're getting the house cleaned and it's torture.
Yeah, it's not the worst. Like, there was a day last week where it hit 50 degrees here. It's only 38 right now, so I feel like I'm okay. Like, I'm not dying. I'm not melting yet, but I may do the next podcast show.
Being in the sunroom, it's kind of different because there's, like, no airflow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's, it sounds intense, man. Sounds intense. I'm sorry you're going through this. The things we do for our art.
No shit.
Is podcasting an art? I don't even know.
It takes
call it.
It takes a good person to talk. Like, you can't just bring in anyone you want.
Yeah, but here you are. So.
Oh, fuck you.
But you're here, of course, because you're going to be joining me at not one, but 2 huge shows this weekend. A big doubleheader. First shows of the year for Riot City Wrestling and Wrestle Rampage, both happening on the same weekend. Are you stoked, man? Are you stoked?
I am very stoked. It's like a WrestleMania weekend for us, in a way. 2 huge shows. And
yeah,
Jonah Rock's last match in Australia, which is a very big thing.
Are you going to cry?
I'll cry man tears.
Man, what are man tears? There's no difference between just regular tears and man tears. It's all salt water, bro.
But I'm very excited. Both cards look great.
Yeah, I'm keen for the weekend. I'm very keen. I don't know how my body or my head are going to hold up. I'm getting too old for this shit, man. I'm getting too old for this shit. But especially for HQ, Riot City Wrestling are returning to HQ. This is their second show at HQ. And HQ is a big, loud place.
It's a very gorgeous venue. Like, it's mainly for clubs and shit. But like, I saw bands there recently. But for wrestling, it's a very cool venue. You can see from anywhere. The atmosphere is great. The production value is great.
Man, it looked so good on YouTube as well. When you watch the Superclass show that they did at HQ, it came across like I was like, whoa, like what am I even watching here? It's like world class.
Yeah, HQ done like what was it, like $1 million renovation, whatever it was, of the whole place, and it turned out really well.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to being there live and experiencing it. But let's jump in and take a look at the card. Let's start from let's start with the bird and the bull. Yeah, Kit Condor, rookie, relatively new to Riot City Wrestling, and Tony. So I believe Kit Condor made his debut on the last show in the multi-man tag match.
Yes, he did. I was at that show as well, and he had a pretty good showing. He still pretty green in the sense, but the crowd loved him, so it's good to see him get a singles match.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's getting a one-on-one with the returning Tony Toro, and Tony Toro is great. And as well as already, like the last time we saw him being a fantastic worker, he's returning after a stint training in Calgary with Lance Storm. And so after training with Lance Storm, he did some traveling with Keegan and Jasmine around the territory as well. So, he's going to be coming back with some new tricks, you think?
That's what they want you to believe. He actually got Hep C or whatever from, what's his name, Katie Trey biting him in the ass. So he's been out with an injury.
Haven't heard that one. Katie Trey, he's got a clean bill of health if he's getting in the wrestling ring, okay? I don't want these kind of allegations coming out of the B Plus podcast.
Nah, good on Tony for getting experience. He's very underrated. I remember seeing him a couple of years ago for the first time. And he's been great ever since. And the heel turn, his whole heel run has been pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to think that Kit Condor is going to try to fly around, of course, and Tony Toro will probably come back with that new bag of tricks and look to ground Condor and return with a big win. I'm looking for Tony Toro to get the win here.
I think Kit will get the upset somehow. I don't know, maybe they'll have some like shenanigans with the ball thing like we saw a couple weekends ago.
with the red flag. You think they're going to steal a spot from ACW?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Man, if I was ACW, I would be raging over that. Huh? See, because there's Duke Marshall. He's a raging bull, you see.
Yeah. Shitty puns, but I get you.
Something that won't be shitty. Monero vs. Brooks 2, a rematch from RCW 200, which I unfortunately did not manage to make it to RCW 200, and I'm very, very happy I'm going to see the rematch live.
I'm pretty sure I didn't get to see that show either because Wrestle Rampage was the same night, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it was.
And it's Kyle Fletcher's return, that's, I think. And I watched the match back on YouTube because I'd heard a lot of hype around it, and it was actually lived up to the hype, so I'm excited to see it in person.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure if it was Rampage the same night. It might have been the night that it was the ECW stars in town with BCW. It might have been that one. I can't remember. I just remember that I didn't see 200.
Oh, no, Rampage was the night before, and yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but the match was, obviously it's up on YouTube. People can check it out. The entire show for 200, the entire show for every show that Riot City Wrestling do, they go up on YouTube about 2 weeks later. I always say it, Riot City Wrestling are the most accessible Australian wrestling promotion because it's all right there for free on YouTube in schmick quality with full commentary, everything going for it. Definitely get around it. If you're listening to this and you haven't seen Riot City Wrestling, they're probably the closest company we have in Australia in style-wise to a WWE or an NXT.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, how they're more family-friendly WWE style of wrestling. And I thank God they started uploading on YouTube because they'd be on Vimeo and, unless you paid for it, you never got the chance to see it. So it's a good change.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. And I absolutely love it because even if I can't make it to a show for whatever reason, I can always catch it on YouTube. And so, yeah, the first match I did watch, and it was a really good match. It was Brooksy's return to the company after his trip overseas, and yeah, I can't wait to see how they top it. Do we see Monero going up here to set up a number 3 because Brooks won in the initial encounter?
I think Brooksy's gonna win and then probably go Sabbath for the title, which that's just me thinking out loud.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. I could also see Monero going over here to set up a potential 3 because we do like our best of 3 series, as we'll see in a minute. You're right, City Wrestling. Like I said, similar to an NXT. NXT constantly do their little 3-match series between guys, right? So I wouldn't be surprised to see it go that way. But I mean, Brooksy's a star, and they're going to need someone to be challenging Zach after he wraps up with Basso. So I could definitely see it going that way as well. Speaking of the best of 3 series type matches, Rude Ones, Gods and Monsters, 2 of the best, for my money, tag teams in this country, which is really saying something in the case of Gods and Monsters, because they haven't been tagging together for long.
Yeah, like having someone as big as Grim and another gladiator, what'd you call him, in Brody Marshall. It's just a pairing made in heaven. Like they work off each other really well, and their entrance is one of the best I've seen production wise as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a spectacle to see these guys come out, and they're huge. They're just huge individuals.
I love the Rude Ones, like very technical, fast, hard hitting. I think what's his name? I forgot their names already. Was it like Bulldog?
Voodoo and Bulldog.
I think it's Bulldog. Like I'm a big fan of Bulldog.
Yeah, they're both really good. I think Voodoo for me is the one that I'm more. He's the more technical. They're both really technical wrestlers, though, generally speaking, and they're gonna look to, throw back to the MCW podcast I just did. Maybe they're gonna look to kick the leg out of the leg for Gods and Monsters, because you gotta bring down a big guy, right? You got to bring him down to their knees, and so the Rude Ones have a win here in this little feud. Gods and Monsters also have a win here. But the Gods and Monsters win was actually in a 2-on-2 match. The Rude Ones got their win in a 3-on-3 match. So you got to give the edge to Gods and Monsters. Again, because Zach Sabbath is going to be looking for challenges, and having these guys with wins under their belts is a good choice, right?
I think Gods and Monsters are going to pick up the win because they've been teasing the Pariah and Gods and Monsters for a little bit. And I really want to see that match. So I'm going to go with Gods and Monsters for that one.
Yeah. Well, the Pariah, and they touched on it in their own press conference, they're always the underdog, aren't they? Even going in as champions, they're considered underdogs. So them against Gods and Monsters in not a singles feud, but a tag feud, like just the 2 teams, not the big 4-way ladder match that we got last time they faced off, would be a pretty good spectacle to witness.
It really would, because they're not overly tiny, but they're smaller guys, so it's kind of like the underdogs match, even though they're champs, against the 2 giants. So it's like David as on WWE recently, David vs. Goliath.
yeah, rewrite the Bible, yeah. So that's you're gonna get in trouble, Heyman. No, the Pariah this time around are facing off against the Armstrongs, so Nick and Jet. And going in, you would consider them the underdogs because they're the young boys essentially, right? The Armstrongs been around for a while. They have they have a victory over these guys as well in recent memory in a multi-man match at the last show with Kit Condor and stuff on the Pariah's team. It's I'm just hurt that I wasn't invited to the press conference. I am press. I'm in Adelaide.
If you're listening, RCW,
Sean Fuster moderating a press conference, and I'm like, why was I not notified about this? I'm only a 40-minute drive from you guys. I have questions. I have value to bring to the table.
This is an interesting one as well, because I feel like the Pariah are coming off as heels and the Armstrongs are faces in this whole thing. I feel like it's a double turn in a way.
I don't think I will ever consider the Armstrongs to be faces. Maybe Jet, but Nick Armstrong... This is one of those things where when you're talking about local wrestling, it's really hard because let's just say if I was talking about Mark Williamson, who's over in Melbourne, and I don't see him very often at all, and I'm watching Underworld Wrestling, and I'm like, he has a really punchable face, right? I'm not going to say that about Nick Armstrong, but I just don't see him as a face.
Just what I took from the promo, the Pariah, I don't know if they're tweener or face, or they're acting very heelish, if you get what I meant.
Yeah, but when it comes time to get in the ring and go bell to bell, I feel like outside the ring, they're a bit cocky, right? They're a bit arrogant. And it's almost endearing though, because when they do get in the ring, they do it the right way. They don't cheat to win. They fight from underneath. They do what they can. They struggle. They overcome, which is the important part, and they become champions. Do you think that the championship is maybe getting to their heads though?
I think so, and just it's the cockiness, it's the attitude. Like, what was one of the lines? Like, not PG language. Suck a dick, bro.
Is that what he said? Or was it like you've got a small
like
dick,
that.
bro? I can't remember. It was something related to one of the Armstrong's penises.
There's something along the lines of that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you know, I guess they're younger guys, you know. I don't know. I can't really defend it. And I see where you're coming from with the are they tweeners kind of thing. But I don't think so because, yeah, I mean, the crowd are definitely behind them. They're some of the most popular guys on the roster. But, yeah, the question is it going to their heads? Because I can definitely see an argument for that.
I think it definitely is, and it would make for an interesting story. But them being fan favorites is kind of maybe why they haven't pulled the trigger on the heel turn, but just the way with their attitudes, I think it'd work.
Yeah, well, if they're going to pick up a win here and move on to a program with Gods and Monsters, as you would predict, then, yeah, I think in that situation, the Pariah would have to be the heels,
exactly.
right?
That's what I was thinking when I came up with that prediction.
Yeah, so maybe it is sort of a slow turn, but whether it turns the Armstrong's face, I don't know, man. I don't know. The other thing that struck me about the press conference was just all four guys just wearing sunglasses inside in the middle of the day.
Just Aussie things, man. Just Aussie things.
Yeah, great stuff. Then we've got a fatal 4-way match. This one is. I'm looking forward to this one. It feels like get everyone on the card. It feels like that kind of thing. But you know, it's a big show, so of course you want to get everyone on the card. Kurt Barron, Stephen Miller, Dean Brady, Katie Trey. I don't feel like these guys have a real purpose for having this configuration of a match, other than it's going to be an entertaining match, and everyone has something to prove because they want to get in contention for that title, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it looks like a filler match. It's just 4 random names they threw in a hat. Kind of like with Kate.
Yeah, I don't know if you can call it filler though. With someone as impressive as Stephen Miller has really impressed me. Like I'm a fan of this guy.
All guys are great. It's just a random pairing, if you ask me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm singling out Stephen Miller because I've only recently seen Stephen Miller since his return, and I've become a very fast fan. But Katie Trey is
Katie Trey is very popular. I'm a big fan of.
I've pumped up Katie Trey a lot.
I'm
on this
a big
podcast.
fan of Dean Brady myself, like the whole technical powerhouse, like suplexy style. I don't know what's going on with him.
What's going on with the millennials? What's going on with the millennials?
Maybe he's
right?
leaning towards a face turn because the way they're singling him out for a lot of things. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets... I don't see Brady winning this. I think it will go to Katie. But I think they'll think a story will play off for Dean Brady. But him leading to a feuding with some of the millennials.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kurt Barron, of course, is someone that everyone is high on. Like, and you know, pun intended, this guy is huge. He's massive. He's, you know, face to face with Grimm. He's one of the biggest guys in the country. So, you know, he's always a contender when he steps between.
It's a very interesting clash of styles, different sizes. Looking at it now,
yeah. I'm pulling for my boy Stephen Miller just because yeah, he returned recently. I hadn't seen him. Was it a return or a debut when he showed up just randomly not too long ago? A few months ago.
I have no idea. You can't quote me on that. So.
Yeah, that's fine. But Stephen Miller, I was not familiar with him, and now I am, and so I'm pulling for him to win this one, and you know, move up the card a little. Then we get the women's match. Now this one's not for the women's title or anything. This is not for the number one contendership, but once again, you got to think that the people are looking to get in the W column so that they can move on to challenge impressive Indy Hartwell, who is having quite an impressive reign over this division. We've got Savannah Summers, a multi-time Riot City Wrestling Women's Champion, taking on Blair Alexis.
When this match was advertised, I thought last show they set on Indy versus Savannah at the HQ show. Unless something happened and I missed something, but yeah.
Right. I notoriously have a very short memory for wrestling, so I'm reading the copy, man. Like I'm reading what I got on the Facebook. It's now that you mention it, I do remember Indy sort of having a kind of interaction, but yeah, maybe that's coming after.
I'm not sure, but with the way she attacks Savannah and everything, it's pretty clear that she's probably going to face Savannah.
Right, so we're pulling for Savannah in this one. I think Savannah's got more experience, but I would love to see Blair get the upset.
Hey, I'm all for upsets. I'm not sure if the crowd are behind Blair at all. I myself, I'm not really a fan. I like Savannah, but it'd be interesting to see who goes over.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the main event, Zach Sabbath, the new Riot City Wrestling champion, defending for the first time against Chris Basso. This is their third match. Of course, each has a win over the other. And the last time Chris Basso walked into HQ as challenger, he walked out as champion. So you kind of think there's a bit of an edge there for him.
Yeah, it's a different crowd for Zach. I'm pretty sure he's competed there before, but Basso with the winning experience, and he's one of the best in the company, I should say. Been the champion longer. Maybe people think Zach's not ready for the belt. Who knows? Like, maybe the nerves get to him.
Yeah, and of course the X factor here as well is Selena. We will see exactly what kind of role she will play.
Yeah, because she recently turned
forward
on Basso, assisting Sabbath in helping him win the belt, which was an interesting change. She's just getting passed around to a lot of people.
Yeah, she definitely started as Nick's chick, and yeah, she's been with Basso for a while. Yeah, Basso kind of saved her, I suppose, is the story there. Basso sort of saved her from Nick, but I guess she didn't want to be saved because she's aligned herself with Zach
I think
Sabbath.
Maybe he poisoned her mind with that kiss or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's a very interesting story, and I'm curious to see what kind of role she will have at ringside. Of course, when she was with Nick and with Basso, she was a far more passive presence.
Yeah,
at
she
ringside.
wasn't involved like she was when she was with Nick and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so now you got to think that she's going to be turning that up to 11, as it were.
I think she'll have a whole makeover. And
I imagine she'll be. Oh yeah, and I imagine she'll be getting involved.
Yeah, of course. It's going to be interesting though because the crowd are so behind Sabbath, but he's a mega heel, and the crowd have turned on Chris Basso, and he's the hated one. So it's going to be interesting the way they play it out.
Yeah, so any indie wrestling fans listening to this, I just want to make my stance clear. Boo the bad guys.
Even if you like them.
If they're cheating to win, yeah, even if you if you like them, they're going out there to try to get booed, right? So if you like them, you should want them to know they are good at their job by booing them. I'm sorry, I'm going to go on this rant here because this comes up so much. Like, it happened to Iman even over in Malaysia, right? He comes up with this golden boy persona and leans into the whole, yeah, I'm a rich kid, whatever. And then people start cheering him. What are you doing?
You meant to boo the rich kid.
We get that you like... Yeah, we get that you like the act because all of a sudden he's found himself and it's good. And, and it's the same everywhere at the moment. People make heels cool, and it's like, okay, yeah, part of it has to go on the heel. Like, they have to find some way to get even more despicable. But then as internet wrestling fans, when they do that, then you have the Austin Aries effect where people are just like, no, that guy's an asshole. No one should book him. And it's like, there's got to be a freaking line here, man. Boo the bad guys. Boo
it's like
the
the
bad
whole
guys.
thing with Seth Rollins where he was the big heel on the big hill run after he won the belt, and everyone loved him.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating for me because it ruins their job.
That's one
in a sense.
That's one thing BritWres fans get right. Like Zach Gibson, biggest heel, crowd, fantastic wrestler. Everyone loves him. But they boo the shit out of him, going as far, like people, you know how you have streamers for people you love? They threw toilet paper at him instead.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where you love and respect the performance, so you play along. You play along. Like, when I see Zach Sabbath come out, yes, I want to cheer this man, but... he is playing the role of the villain. He's pulling a child in front of himself as a human shield.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you boo that person, okay? Play along. This is a performance art. We're all a part of it. Do the right thing. Rant over. I think that's a good place to end it. I'm picking Zach Sabbath to come out on top of this one.
As well.
Yeah. So But that does it for Riot City Wrestling. I guess there's one other thing that we should touch on, though. Is Jimmy C okay?
I have no idea. I really don't.
I'm worried about this guy. He sent in the video resume, and it's pretty much just him with a camera just losing his mind. He's talking about Milo, and he's found a new way to drink Milo, and he's very excited about this. Yeah, and he's he wants to come to the HQ show. He wants
Luke
to be
Santa
in attendance.
Maria, please.
He's like, I'm not. I'm expecting shenanigans of some
He
kind.
just looks like he wants to be there. He doesn't seem like he poses harm. He done some bad things, but I think we can forgive him.
You don't think he poses harm? Okay, look, I respect Jimmy. I think he was a fantastic general manager. I don't think anyone gives him the respect he deserves. However, do I think he is a harmless force in Riot City Wrestling? Absolutely not. If you think he's just there to attend, he's not going to do any harm. I think you are underselling him.
He wants to show people how to drink Milo a different way. Come on, how can you hate that?
Man, if he sets up at the bar with his NutriBullet and offers Milo to people, I will lose my shit.
If anyone's listening to this, please do it.
I will go absolutely mental if he is just at the bar with his NutriBullet, just demoing. He's like, no, this is revolutionary.
It'll be interesting to see what comes of it. I'm looking forward to it because the whole video resume was fantastic.
Guys, yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm just putting this out there. Riot City Wrestling, if you are listening, you can charge people like $10 for a shot of Bailey's with Milo in the NutriBullet. I'm telling you, this is money. You're going to get people wasted. They're going to boo the bad guys. They're going to cheer the good guys. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. But we should probably move on because we're at the half-hour point and we have another show to get to.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Christmas has come and gone, and with it, the disappointment of those Secret Santa staples, the shave kit, the sports hygiene packs, and seasonal socks is fading. As we roll on, though, into the new year, it's time to make resolutions. So why not resolve to look better in 2019 and get yourself the gift that keeps on giving and never disappoints? Threadbox. Threadbox is a subscription clothes shopping service which for as little as $40 per month will send you a box of personally curated goodies straight to your doorstep. I get the $160 package which comes with over $200 worth of fresh goodies each month. Kept me looking fly for all my Christmas engagements this year. You get to communicate with the Threadbox stylist assigned to you by email regarding what it is you need, and they will tailor the box accordingly. And in the unlikely event that you don't like what they send you, you send it back, they will replace it with something new and make note of the things you don't like so that they can avoid that kind of thing in the future. Threadbox is a truly unbelievable service that no man should be living without, so head over to threadbox.com.au today and use our code TheB+15 when you check out to get 15% off your first box. Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today. Wrestle Rampage. February 2nd.
Never surrender.
This one's in... Yeah, never surrender. This one, Jonah Rock's last match in the country. I think we'll save that for last, but this show is looking incredible. I don't think the full card's announced yet as we record this on Wednesday.
I think we'll get a match announcement later on in the week, maybe one more.
Yeah, it's looking pretty full, but not completely full. So let's go through from the most recent all the way up to what we presume will be the main event. Robbie Hart versus Corn Dog.
What is a corn dog?
what is a corn dog, right? When I sat down, like, people are going to hear tomorrow on the Aussie Graps Friday show, I did a bit of a roundtable interview with the guys of the Rampage Dojo, all the young boys. And, Tyler Trench. And he was like, yeah, I'm corn dog Tyler Trench. And I'm like, what? What's a corn dog? He's like, you'll see. And I'm like, how do I not ask this now? I'm about to sit down with you guys for half an hour to talk wrestling, and I have this in my head that you're a corn dog and you're wearing this hat that says corn dog right now, and I don't know what this is. What is a corn dog?
I have no idea. Like, he's done this whole thing on Instagram where he's uploading different... his Instagram handle is corn dog sauce, and his whole Instagram story for the last week or so has been different types of sauces.
It's all about sauce, right?
Yeah, I don't get it. I want to know.
Sauce. He's bringing the sauce. Is he like ripping off? Have you ever watched Epic Mealtime?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, is he ripping off the sow spouse? Is that
Oh my god!
like is that his gimmick?
Like,
is he just gonna like cook ridiculous meals and feed people? Because if so, once again, you fire up a barbecue, you charge people $10. I'm claiming credit for this if it happens.
I have no idea.
I expect
It's like,
royalties.
is corn dog Dingus? Is Dingus corn dog? I don't know, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
You have to listen to this interview when I ask them about Bingus. It gets esoteric for a second when I ask them what is Bingus. We go deep. We go very deep. But Robbie Hart versus Corn Dog. This is the debut of a new character for Corn Dog Tyler Trench. So I think that we will see Corn Dog win somehow.
He's woken
Robbie
up.
Hart's.
He's woken up from his nightmare. He was the nightmare. Now he is Corn Dog. So,
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. But Robbie Hart is an obstacle to overcome if you want to get a victory here. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to this.
Robbie
one.
Hart. Well, he picked up a win over Robbie Eagles at one of the shows. He was on a big win streak for a while, and now he's facing Corn Dog. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely. And then we get Mike Boomer, the leader of the Covenant, which we should probably touch on, taking on Rat Daddy. Now, of course, the Covenant released a promo talking about, pretty much everyone in Wrestle Rampage is a sinner, apparently, but Rat Daddy is the biggest of them all.
Yeah, it was a really cool promo, but they didn't touch on why Rat Daddy was a sinner, I don't think. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what this whole Covenant thing is.
I'm going to assume he's a sinner because he snorts cheese.
It's like, I think because the way I think it's how he's brainwashed the crowd to cheering him. Maybe that's the whole thing. Boomer doesn't like the way the fans are reacting to him. Maybe that's why he singled him out.
Yeah, it's like a cult of celebrity sort of shtick. I'm not sure exactly why, but I think we will find out more.
Yeah, because they've got now, was it the Judgment, Brother Bellows? You've got the Truth, Mike Boomer, and more recently, surprise turn from what did they call her?
Justice Journey.
Yeah,
May?
Justice Journey May.
Yeah, which that turn struck at the heart of Wrestle Rampage, and
she's so
if you were
pure,
watching along live, yeah.
She's so pure and loved by everyone, and she turned, and it was generally a shock, which was covered online.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were paying attention to if you were watching online on the live stream and you were paying attention to the hashtag, it was very much, people were shocked. It struck at the heart. It really did. And the promo work since hasn't really gotten across to me necessarily what's going on exactly, and I think that's part of it. Like, they want it to be a bit of a mystery, but as well, Joni May just has such a friendly voice and friendly face.
She's too pure and just her whole voice, her whole demeanor is just like, she's not heel, and I'd like to see it work, and I hope it does. Brother Bellows is a big dude, so
yeah, dude, he was scary. They did another video where he was torturing someone. Who was he torturing?
I have no idea.
Is this going to be a fourth member? Maybe he's kissed the boot in private, and we'll see a fourth member debut.
Maybe we'll see that
as part of this match.
Yeah, maybe we'll see that against the match with Rat Daddy. Is that there's the higher power as well, who we got to think about as well? Like, is there going to be 5 members?
Yeah, Yeah, I'm very curious to see what's. I mean, obviously, I picked Mike Boomer as my act to watch in Adelaide this year because it's interesting. It's very interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of it. I'm going to pick Mike Boomer to win here, shock the world, and take it. Well, not really shock the world because he's a class competitor, but take the win from Rat Daddy.
I agree with you there. Like the way they're pushing this storyline and the way Mike's presented himself at the Cruiserweight Cup, the way just him lately in general, I want him to pick up the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk about another promo that dropped this week that was absolutely incredible. Einar Ironside, where he's talking about how his wolf, Fenrir, is hungry and he's going to face the inner wolf, like inside, that we all have. It was esoteric but relatable. It was amazing.
I like how he, what is he? Icelandic. I like how he took like Fenrir from like the Norse mythology. Because he's got the tattoo of it as well, and is using it as like his inner demon, maybe something like a Finn Balor kind of thing.
Yeah, he has like the Vegvasir tattoos and everything. Yeah. Like he's got the whole shtick. It's a fantastic. I'm a huge fan of mythology. I'm a narratology guy. I study narratology. I study stories. I study religion, and mythology is like my bag. And yeah, that he's pulling from Norse mythology, I'm obviously straight away in. But if you do it and you don't do it well, I'm straight away back out.
But
right?
That promo was fantastic. Like,
dude, it was fire. It was like straight fire.
Looks like something out of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it was really well produced too. Hats off to the production team, whoever did that for Rampage. Like, it was insanely well shot. The audio was brilliant. The promo was fantastic. You got to check out this promo. I'm gonna put this in the show notes for people to watch because Einar Ironside. Oh man, he's very much on my radar now, and he has a match against Dean Valente, Nick Golfus, Link Barnett, Corey Adams, and Kazza and Crow. It's a 6-pack. Is it a 6-pack challenge? Is that what they're calling it?
It's a very interesting 6-pack challenge. It's 6 random dudes that I never thought you'd see in one match.
Yeah, well, we talked about filler matches with Riot City, and it feels like that here. But that promo from Einar Ironside, he wants to feed all 5 of these competitors to Fenrir. To his inner wolf, and you got to think he's in for a challenge with some of the names that are in this match against him.
Yeah, like you got the recently turned and super popular Corey Adams, who's fantastic and underrated. Golfus coming off his match against Robbie Eagles, where that must have lit something inside of him to try and get another win. And Kazza and Crow hasn't really had much luck as of late, like with the whole Cruiserweight Cup thing. And Valente just came off beating Gino Gambino, so a lot of people have stuff to prove.
Yeah, it's definitely. I can't pick a winner. But then you got I can't pick a winner
in Link Barnett as well, so it's going to pose a challenge for a lot of them.
Yeah, I can't pick a winner here. I'm not even going to try to pick a winner here, but
I'm going to go with Ironside just based off that promo and how much I like the character.
Yeah, but then as well, how great would it be for the character if he didn't win?
Unleashes him. He wants to feast more. That's really interesting.
And then he becomes more and more desperate to feed Fenrir, right? This is fantastic. Like, I'm really looking forward to this. And it's a match that really, if you just drop this match and I didn't drop the promo, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a match. Right?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I want to see this. I want to see how close he gets to feeding all 5 of these competitors to Fenrir. I want to see. It's got me. It's got me.
I think Ironside's great. Like, from his progress, he was in the Progress World Cup, and before he left to go to England, back to Iceland, whatever, he was fantastic. Massively underrated, super popular. So it's good to see him back having another match.
Yeah, definitely. Then we move on, and I'm going to put this one as the semi-main, and you got to think that's going to rub AJ Istria the wrong way. But AJ Istria is going to defend his Australian national title for the first time. And this might not be the semi-main. I may be completely off. This is just where I'm putting it because the main event in my heart is obviously going to be Jonah Rock's last match. But when you look at this match on paper, it should probably be the main event. The Australian national title is on the line. AJ Istria, Robbie Eagles. This is Robbie Eagles' first time challenging for the Australian national title.
Yes, it is. Eagles and Istria wrestled at Wrestle Rampage Fowler's show, I think it was. I think you were there as well.
Yeah, I can't remember what the show was called, but it was the one with the death match with Jonah Rock and Tyler Trench. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was an incredible match. Istria picked up the win there as well. So having it on the title, and the stakes are a lot higher for Robbie. So we'll see how that plays out. I think Istria is going to pick up the win, of course, to give himself a solid reign. But the Sniper isn't someone you should just count out for that reason.
No, Robbie Eagles is always a threat. And I think we may see something new from AJ Istria here. I don't know if he necessarily wins this one clean.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily on Istria's side. I think maybe something happens with Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how you get around. I don't know how you get around it booking wise, but you want AJ Istria walking out still the champion. So yeah, it's a curious case because Robbie Eagles is of course one of the best in the country, and not that he couldn't lose to AJ Istria, because AJ Istria is incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
So the potential for AJ Istria to just tap him out, the potential for him to pin him at any moment, it's there.
And both these guys have submission finishes as well, so maybe we could look at a more mat-based style of wrestling as well, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, well, that was the story of the last match too. Istria wants to ground Robbie, right? But Robbie has other tools. That's the thing. You can look to ground Robbie Eagles, but Robbie Eagles is just as good at technical wrestling as he is at flying. He's a double threat. But AJ Istria has more power, so could we see him rely on that power to really give him the edge?
I'm just excited to see the match in general. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm backing AJ Istria to walk out champion though, and then of course the big draw card, the big boys, Jonah Rock, Tommy Knight, final match in the country. We got to think he's going out on his back. Yeah.
To put over Tommy Huge, probably.
Yeah.
When we were discussing this, like when it was announced as Jonah Rock's last match, it was like, who is he going to face? And Tommy Knight or Golfus were the only two choices, and Tommy Knight is a fantastic choice. Everyone loves him, big powerhouse. He's wrestled a year, 2 years?
Yeah, not long. Yeah.
He hasn't wrestled long at all, and he's becoming one of the best, fastest upcoming talent I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's definitely impressive, and he's turning heads all over the place. Like it's one of those matches that it's really make or break for Tommy Knight too. Like there's going to be eyes on this match. This show, of course, we should touch on it. This show is streaming out live, just as the last one did. So anyone who can't make it, anyone who is somewhere else in the country, who is somewhere else in the world, and wants to watch Jonah Rock's last match in this country before heading to wherever he's headed, you can watch it for $10 on CLEENG, and the link will be in the show notes. So yeah, this one, it's a big moment for Tommy Knight, and a big night for Jonah Rock, of course, saying goodbye to his home crowd.
Yeah, exactly. You'd think, like, is Jonah Rock gonna lose his final match in the country? It's just like saying goodbye to one of the guys who brought up the scene, worked so hard to make it what it is. Just, it's gonna be an emotional moment. Cause
many tears will be shed. I'm sure many tears will be shed.
I saw him MCW, and even though it wasn't his last match there, just the feeling of seeing him that last time in MCW kind of hit me in a way.
Yeah. It's going to be a big one. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a crazy emotional way to close out a weekend of really good wrestling. But I'm looking forward to it, and of course, we wish Jonah Rock the best in whatever it is that he has coming next.
That's all we can say, really. Just good luck with whatever you have in the future, and maybe we'll see you again sometime soon.
Well, yeah, we keep calling it his final match in the country. We've got to say it's his final match in the country for now, right? You never know what the future holds. Of course, we want him to come back a bigger star with bigger companies and all that sort of stuff. We want him to bring all that back with him and make everyone here famous. That's what we don't. It's his last match in the country for now. We'll see what happens. Never say never.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But that does it for Wrestle Rampage. It does it for Riot City Wrestling. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we go?
I have nothing. I leave that all to you.
All right. Well, I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit. If it sounds like I'm rushing, it's because I have 2 more podcasts to record before I can even start editing these. So keep an eye. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We try to cover everything that we can in Australian professional wrestling and, of course, the globe. We watch global. We support local. If you want to get in on that mission, you go to the B Plus. No. You go to patreon.com/the B+, and that's where you can get in on things like the call-in shows that you would have heard earlier in this week if you're a subscriber. If you're not, like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do, and thank you so much for listening.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not doing this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
So, no speak English.
Dummy.
Goodbye and good night.
Hold 2. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it. Dummy. Hold